Greetings. Welcome to Speak Nerd and Enter.
Okay, recording has started. Okay. By staying in the room, you are consenting to be recorded.
Yes.
Wait, what? Right, well, welcome to Speak Nerd and Enter.
Thank you.
Over on the far side there, we have Rich.
Hello.
Rich, hey.
Hi.
And then next to me here, we have Mark.
That might be the way it's showing for you. That is not the way it is showing for me.
And it's the way it is there somewhere. You're going to wave and you're going to indicate. There you go. Excellent. And of course, he would hope that you'd come to the healthy conclusion that she's a manipulating bitch. The Cayman.
Hello, the Cayman.
Cayman.
Yeah, I decided to change it. Yeah, I'm riffing on that.
He's a type of alligator.
That's right.
That's nice.
Yeah.
She's a manipulating bitch.
Do you remember that? I'll give. See, I can tell it actually tickled something in the Cayman, but I'll give the other two of you $5 if you can remember what movie that is from.
She's a manipulating bitch.
I have no memory of this place.
Yes. I would hope you would come to the healthy conclusion that she's a manipulating bitch.
It's from Modern Problems.
There you go. Excellent, Mark. You owe him $5.
Let me get right on that.
I listened to the.
I'll make a transfer from my Cayman bank account.
It's Dabney Coleman.
It's Dabney Coleman.
She's a manipulating bitch.
Yeah.
And then
he had a way. He had a way of delivering that line, man. That was incredible.
That was amazing.
What you have to understand is she's a manipulating bitch.
Yeah, that was fair enough. She saw what she wanted. She went out and got it. How you feel, Max?
And then he tries to commit suicide, and she lures him back with his Porsche. But Porsche!
Yeah, he just bought a Porsche. You love yourself too much.
Fantastic film.
Yeah, I saw Dabney Coleman. Helene was watching 9 to 5, and it made me think of that. Man, I'll tell you what. There was nobody. I guess he's still alive, is he? Or no? Did he pass?
Dabney?
I think he did. Let me check. He did pass away.
Yeah, I think Dabney Coleman's dead.
He did?
I think so.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, because I think it was fairly recently.
This day just gets worse.
Yeah, May 2024. So it was like last
2
year.
years ago.
Oh, man.
Or 2 years ago. Yeah.
Man. There was nobody who played.
How old was he, Mark?
I don't know. Let's see.
70s?
Well, he was born in 1932.
Oh,
so
he was.
That makes him 100.
He had a good run.
He was
I think
94.
he was 708.
No, he's 94 or 92. 92. He was 92.
Oh yeah, it does say age 92 right
92.
here.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
good.
a good run.
It just bums me out because, man, there was nobody who played a smarmy, misogynist like he did. He was fun watching him do that because I think he really enjoyed doing that stuff. So he didn't always play that character. He played a good person a few times, but it always kind of bummed me out when he was because I loved him so much from like 9 to 5 and Modern Problems. And movies that otherwise, by the way, would not have been, 90% as good as they were if it weren't for him. Just his act when Chevy Chase lifts him up on that chair during the dinner scene and has him up on the wall.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. I'm still in control of me. If I fall from this particular height, we could be talking about some serious litigation. Just his acting through that whole thing. Everything else in the movie, I was like, meh, okay, But when he showed up, I was all in. There's
a bunch of good scenes in that film. I enjoy it very much.
Yeah, that was it. But he was, for me anyway, he was the one who made both of those movies. He was just great. That reminds me that also, have you guys seen Kingdom of Heaven?
Yes. I actually have
the movie that came out a while ago.
I actually
a while ago.
Yeah,
I have
I saw it a long time ago, but yeah.
I just bought the Super Extendo 4K version.
Okay. So you remember King Baldwin, right?
Hmm.
Okay, the Leper King, right?
Right, the dude in the mask.
Yeah. I was showing Helena a couple of scenes from that because I liked a few of the speeches that were monologues that they had with him. He was for me,
and he was played by Edward Norton.
Yes,
if I remember correctly.
yes, and you wouldn't know it really unless you knew it was him. You really wouldn't know. But I was showing Helena a couple like that, and I told her that I really liked the way they designed his character, the look of his character. It fit the portrayal that they were trying to give him pretty well, and I thought about it kind of in the opposite vein of like Darth Vader, where he's in essentially a suit that is meant to reflect what he is on the inside because his outer shell has been just absolutely ruined. And I thought of it as an interesting dichotomy, if you will, even though they're very different films. But I just thought about the effect that they were trying to give with that. And I thought it was, effectively done, the design of it. And Helena said, have you guys talked about that, that sort of thing, the design of characters and which ones you think were done maybe the best or, really, really well that way, that they made an impression like that? Can you think of any others? Obviously, I just mentioned two. Darth Vader would be iconic on that scale.
I think the best costume/character design ever has got to be Boba Fett.
Oh, good lord! No.
KMAN?
Where?
Absolutely.
God, I wish I had an ejector.
Yeah, it was a great design until it got hit with a stick.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you this, Mark, in that before he did anything, his look was intriguing.
Yeah.
You wanted to see what was going to happen, what he was about, and that sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah,
But once he started doing anything,
I cannot disagree with any of that. I think Darth Maul was a really good design. We're sticking with Star Wars for a minute.
Absolutely not. It's Lando Calrissian in Return of the Jedi when he was in the lair and is wearing his little mask.
Oh, his little mask.
To hide himself. That he had to pull down just so you knew,
just so all the stupid moviegoers are like, hey, that's Billy D. Williams.
See Job over there. Why is he always doing that?
Why is he offering Jabba Colt 45? Why?
Yeah.
It's a good question, Sean. I'm thinking about it.
Because I don't know if there's really that many.
I have one for you that I really like.
Who's that?
Merlin in Excalibur. Nicole
Really?
Williamson. Yeah, with his little steel skull cap. I thought that was just a cool design that, it was supposed to be fantastical. It wasn't realistic, but it really set off the character. I enjoyed that one. So.
All right.
Because everyone knows
I'm
Merlin
gonna go
was
with
actually 5 feet.
Kurgan from Highlander.
Kurgan's very good.
Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Jesus. I'm going to forbid you from talking anymore,
Here's a good one. Here's one.
All right,
and the
Carrie,
actor-
season 3, episode 9 of Sex and the City. Her outfit. Mwah.
Here's a good one, and so a serious one, and the actor actually had an influence on this. Snake Plissken. Snake Plissken.
I'll give you that.
The eye patch was Kurt Russell's idea, but the design of the character, it was very weird. You had the weird camouflage and stuff, but you didn't. He was a man of mystery, so I thought that was good.
Also, anything Kurt Russell, really. Kurt Russell in The Thing with the big giant hat that he, that hat, iconic.
Yeah.
Name another actor who could pull that hat off, right?
Oh yeah, and didn't want to.
Yeah.
How about Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly?
See, that's
that
one.
really a
I'd go
concept
with iconic in that. Sure, yeah, the poncho and everything. Yeah,
And the canted hat. And the cigarillo, so...
Yeah. I would think, see, what I'm thinking of when I think of the iconic thing, I suppose, is that even if you don't know the character, even if you're not familiar with them, you're not from that generation or whatever, you just, for whatever reason, you're not familiar with, them. Mm-hmm. You take a look at the character, you're still going to instantaneously be given the vibe that they were going for,
Then in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I would, the three main characters, Angel Eyes, Tuco, and the Man with No Name. I mean, all three of those characters. I mean, you look at them, you know exactly what's going on. That opening scene where Angel Eyes rides into that ranch, and confronts the guy. There's no way you're watching that, even if you've never seen the movie. There's no way you're watching that and not expecting what's going to happen there. You know everything's about to go pear-shaped, and he's the reason why.
It's true. That's true. But I think to Rich's point, I suppose, without A Fistful of Dollars, which was the original one with him and that poncho and the look and all that, I think you probably wouldn't have known, any of the others. But yeah, I think by extension, I think that's true. I think that's true.
What about Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp Fiction?
Pulp Fiction.
Well, I mean, it's the same.
Well, I mean, he was just him in a suit or him in, shorts and a t-shirt, depending on which scene we're talking about. Like that wasn't about the character design or the costume. That was Samuel L. Jackson. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's fair. That's
right?
a fair. Yeah.
I mean, you
now
could argue.
What I was gonna say is Charlize Theron in Mad Max Fury Road or Immortan Joe. Both of those guys are iconic characters that I think the design, the wardrobe design and everything hits perfectly.
Yeah, something extraordinary that you wouldn't normally see in that way. I agree. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and there are others in that movie as well. Like I feel like that whole thing was visually amazing.
Yeah,
but
if
those
Humongous
are the two
shows up
standouts.
on the screen, you're going to have an idea as to who he is. That's true.
Yeah. What about Michael
that's
Myers
the bad guy.
What's that?
What about Michael Myers from Halloween?
Yeah, Mike Myers. There you go.
Okay.
There's that's an iconic one. Yeah, absolutely, and started a whole.
Yeah, it was all crap after that, but first one, awesome.
I'm trying to think about any of the others from that era. But you could throw others in there. Creature feature stuff in there, but I don't think that's quite the same.
Well, like Creature from the Black Lagoon?
No. Well, no. I mean, that's if you see the monster, you're kind of going to get the idea as to who they are just because of teeth.
Thinking like Jason in the hockey mask or whatever.
Right, as opposed to like Darth Vader, where if Darth Vader were just simply a burn victim, hanging in a tank, that wouldn't be the same as him in his suit. You know what I mean?
Charcoal.
Yeah. So it conveys a feeling in the same way that, at least for me, that Baldwin kind of did, but the opposite direction, or Darth Nihilus and him, that kind of thing. So.
I was just sitting here thinking about, like, what if you reversed the roles of Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars original trilogy? Mm-hmm. Like, how absolutely weird that would be if Luke was the bad guy and Darth Vader was the empathetic hero.
Well, when we saw that, I was pulling for Darth Vader. I was. And Luke was just too whiny. He was a punk.
Super whiny.
Super whiny.
Look, he needed some power converters. He's gonna go to Tashi Station.
So, you guys saw Spider-Noir?
I saw episode 1. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
I saw the
I don't
ad
mind if
for
you
it.
want to talk spoilers, though.
No. I'd like you to watch the whole thing since you had a semi-bleh reaction to the first one. I want to see how you take the rest of it.
I'll keep going. Like I say, it felt very paint by numbers. It's like, oh, here's this intriguing, the woman, the Asian lady, and she sings a musical number. It's like the first time we see her.
It's not,
and I'm supposed to be like, she's the exotic one. And I watched the black and white version, because of course.
Yeah, that's what I watched.
But it felt so... The filmmaking was so crisp. right? The detail, like there was one point where they were in a room and you could tell that they'd smoked the room to get that misty effect, and that looked the most noir out of all of it. Otherwise, it looked like a soap opera they made black and white, you know, and it took me out of it. It didn't feel like I was in the 1930s. It felt like, yeah, you're on a set somewhere and they rent in some old cars and put a bunch of people in old, costumes.
We'll talk about it when you absorb some more of it. How about that?
Okay.
But I will agree with you on that first episode. I've seen the whole thing, but I will agree with you on that first episode there. I'll reserve my opinion of the other stuff till you've seen it. But for me, I like noir stuff. And think that can be a lot of fun. Especially my favorite of those, I think, is probably like Chinatown and L.A. Confidential. I thought it was a really good one.
And L.A. Confidential felt like, I don't know, more visceral, like you were there. It felt old-timey. Yeah. This felt like they were playing at old-timey.
That first episode, again, I'm going to keep it to just that, but that first episode felt like I was watching... and I don't know who put it together, how old they are, and who wrote it, and how old they are, and all that. But it felt like I was watching a high school impression of what noir would have been for a stage play or something.
The thing is that the show is set in a mythical world. The other movies you mentioned are set in our world. They're fictional stories, but they're set in our world. Whereas Spider-Noir is set in it's a comic book world. It's not supposed to be. Like I forgive, I forgive what you guys are talking about, that it seems like an impression of noir, because it is. It's
right, but they did not create a comic book world other than the main character.
Well, that's
like
to be fair. They did make up New York.
If you look at a movie like Dick Tracy, they went out of their way to create a fantasy world that felt very Dick Tracy, right? Okay.
There's much more. There's more.
I'm telling you, episode 1 felt like I was not living in a fantasy world. It was, let's film this in black and white, and occasionally the main guy, he falls over a railing. I'm like, this is a Spider-Man who can't climb a building.
It's more complicated.
But he's got webs and stuff, and but the paint by numbers. Oh no, the tragic backstory. He lost his loved one, and. I was like, it felt like
story play out.
Okay, but so far episode 1, and let's be honest, if you're making the first episode in your series, generally you want that thing to hit. And if I'm coming out of this one like, well, that was an episode, you didn't do a good job.
See,
that's be very entertaining.
That's why I'm keeping my current comments, Rich. to episode 1.
That's what I'm doing.
because
I disagree about episode 1. I found episode 1 to not be off-putting because it was formulaic. It was a setup to engage you to watch further episodes. So it doesn't give you...
Yeah, but I get what Mark's saying is that I
understand.
You don't go to a noir movie to see the detective not want to be a detective anymore.
Okay.
You go to a noir movie to see him, doing his thing. He may be down on his luck and all of that or whatever, but it's not like he's, I don't ever want to do this again. I'm not that person anymore. That whole thing. It's him.
Well, I'm always put off by the reluctant hero anyway.
Right, exactly.
But I thoroughly enjoyed his secretary.
Yeah, she was great.
He's very entertaining throughout the series.
Yeah.
I'm really anti-reluctant.
So it wasn't all bad,
I'm really anti-reluctant hero ever since Green Lantern. Like, his whole I'm not worthy. I was just like, fine, stop making the bloody book already. Who cares?
Yeah, but this situation, I think you'll be surprised.
Yeah, I got an open mind about it. I like the character in the multiverse version of things. I thought it was interesting, and so I'm interested to see what they do with it.
See, I was looking forward to that as well. And again, I'm just talking about the first episode. I'm reserving all the other stuff for the other things. I'm just saying that when you see this first one, if you feel that same way that Mark did, I did too.
It did not feel like what we saw in the multiverse movies. You know what I mean? Like the
That's
character did not feel the same.
Yeah. The character in the multiverse movie seemed more of a more over the top.
Right,
yeah.
Yes.
And I was kind of expecting that same kind of punch in this.
Right, but instead we got depressed Nicolas Cage who's like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'll keep an open mind about it. It is concerning that Mark came out, because Mark likes everything. And that's that idea that if Mark comes out of it and he doesn't like it, then it's concerning. But also, to Rich's point, I've never seen an episode 1 of anything that's just been, mind-blowing. There's always been the idea that I got to slog through the first 3 before this thing finds its legs and really starts to run. So, and I trust you guys' opinion. So I'll take a look and I will criticize that.
To that point, Breaking Bad almost lost me on episode 1. I'm like, what's this dude doing in his underwear out in the desert? And frankly, it's one of my favorite series of all times. But I admit, like, I was like, episode 1, I was like, what is going on here? I started watching that on Netflix back when they would mail you the CDs, right? And so a buddy of mine at work, right, was like, oh, you got to check this out. It's a great show. And I watched episode 1. He's like, no, just keep going. Just keep going. And I was like, okay, we'll see. And
man,
so, yeah.
Breaking Bad was one of those shows. There was a couple episodes of that series that I just can never watch again. There were a couple of those that were just like, holy crap, I feel horrible coming out of that.
So.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, feeling bad. Have you guys seen the any of the stories or videos about the 2 killer whales off the coast of South Africa?
I have not.
No.
Oh, you haven't? I thought one of you would have seen it. There's 2 killer whales there named Port and Starboard, who have dorsal fins. One of them's bent to the left and one to the right, thus the names that they gave them. But they've been down there terrorizing the shark population. So they used to have diving with the great whites and all of that. They've all taken off. All the sharks are gone because these 2 have come in. And they killed in one day, they killed like 14 6-gill and blue sharks and and they took off. All of them took off. They're gone. And then they turned their attentions towards the great whites. And now the great whites have taken off and left as well.
Wow. Yeah, they sound like a couple of dicks.
Yeah. No, dude, I watched.
Well, in all honesty, you could say, hey, I mean, if it's swimming with the killer whales or swimming with the sharks, I'd rather swim with the killer whales, but man,
I'd rather be swimming with bow-legged women.
I just thought it was funny that you got this, multi-million-dollar industry and it's been wrecked like these 2 killer whale brothers.
Kelly, I think we need to watch Meg and Deep Blue or whatever that other shark movie was. Like, if we're gonna rip on some movies, let's rip on some movies.
Weren't you starved by orca in 1978 like I was? When the baby fell out of the orca and the orca got angry and its eyes turned red? That was amazing.
I felt bad for the orca. I was cheering him on because the captain of the ship was a dick, to Mark's point.
Yeah, he was.
I saw Meg in the theater. It was one of those times when, Indy and I went on an afternoon after work, and I was like, all right, well, you wanted to see it.
You saw that?
Yeah.
You did?
I actually went and saw it, and I actually went out to the... at some point, I tried to stay awake. I went out to the concession stand. I was like, let me get a soft pretzel. And they said, it'll take 5 minutes. And I said, I'll wait.
I've got time.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not missing anything.
Take your time.
That's awesome. And I've heard that story before. So I was like, that is exactly the kind of movie we need to rip on.
See, I don't understand the idea of that as a character villain, a fish, because I've never...
It's a smart fish that wants out. Meg is... I'm thinking of Deep Blue or whatever that other movie is.
But I mean, this is...
Meg. It's a big shark.
Yeah. This is an age-old comment on this. Chevy Chase and SNL did a commentary on this very well with the whole land shark thing. Mm-hmm. But that was my thing about it, even with Jaws, is just don't go in the water. I don't do that.
That was Roy Scheider's method. Doesn't go in the water.
Yeah, just don't go in the water, man.
So I'm gonna be over here Well, that was the thing. And when I was a kid and I saw Jaws, right? Like you're like afraid
Yeah.
of like, oh my god, there's sharks, and then I'm like, it's not under my bed.
Right.
It's not in the bathtub.
But Mark,
we have a swimming pool, but I can look in the pool and be like, nope, no sharks in there
Mark,
before I get
no
in.
escape from
So, like,
Sharknado.
I didn't know what to be afraid of, and yet I was afraid because I'm like, what, 8 or 9 when I saw it or something.
Well,
like that.
I wasn't afraid of it. I was like, well, why do you guys keep going back to the water? What's the...
Just stay out.
I told you, they cured it with Sharknado. Sharknado,
Right.
There's no escape.
Yeah, it comes to you. I mean, they solve that problem. They're like, how do we get the sharks to them?
The shark comes to you.
Right. But see,
walking around, you get hit in the
going
face
back,
with
there's
sharks.
a famous screenwriting book called Save the Cat, where he puts all these movies in different categories, and one of the categories is Monster in the House, which is most of these horror movies, right? You're trapped in a confined space with this monster, right? And so Jaws is an example of that. But a poor example is something where you can just leave the house, right? You have to be stuck in the house, like, oh no, we're on an island, we're in a mansion that the doors are locked, or Michael Myers, running around Haddonfield or whatever. Like he can't really get out. Although I guess you could just jump in a car and drive away, but nobody did that. So stay out of the water.
Yeah,
Please.
I don't. Yeah, that never rung true with me because I couldn't understand why you would have to go back into the water like that. That was like with Jaws.
Look, Amity Island is a tourist destination. If they close the beaches, their economy would be shot.
Yeah, that's what they said.
And if you, out of the water, and if you watch Goosebumps, stay out of the basement.
Yeah,
that's right. Don't go camping. Stay stay where the air conditioning is and turn the lights on. You'll be fine.
You're right. Mark, I don't know how you feel, or Kelly. Rich, I guess you've gone camping, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't feel any need to go camping. I'll go for a walk in the woods. I'll do that. I'll go on a hike or something. But I don't camp. I don't do that. I wanna stay someplace where I've got air conditioning and food and...
Right. I cannot begin to understand why it's a good time to take all your crap, pack it in your car, and go sleep on the ground. And then bring it all back home and put it back in your house. What's the point?
Yeah, I tell people when I talk about this and they tell me how much they live camping or going on the water or any of that stuff. We spent generations of humans spent so long and so much energy and time getting out of and away from the ocean and the forest that I don't wish to regress the species in some way.
Yeah.
I want to push it forward.
Right. And for those of you who don't know, 3 of us were in the same Boy Scout troop growing up.
Yeah.
So we have done a lot of camping, right? This is not I've never been camping and I've decided I hate it. We did a lot of camping.
Yeah.
And our scoutmaster loved camping in the rain. I think he picked rainy weekends for us to go camping.
Yeah.
But we had a great time in the Scouts. We had a great time camping when we were kids. Now we are adults and appreciate.
I had a great time at it.
Beds.
I had a great time at it in spite of the fact that we were camping. It wasn't because of the camping. It was like, well, all right, I got to spend time with Mark and Rich and all of them because I'm going camping. I went camping because I got to spend time with my friends. And I was a kid, we couldn't do anything else. As soon as we were old enough to drive and all of that, we really didn't do that anymore, Unless we were gonna blow something up. If we were doing something like that, then we did.
Although that last part, I don't know what Sean's talking about. But camping was great to just get out of the house.
Is the statute of limitations up on all of that stuff yet, or should we just keep that on the down?
We were minors.
I've never dug a hole in my life.
It's on.
That's fine. And by the way, I'm thinking about each of the big times the cops were there anyway.
Once or twice.
Yeah, so it's not like it's unknown or anything,
That right guard can that you threw into the fire, in the campfire, that time. Has to be one of my best, one of the best camp stories.
Oh,
yeah, that was amazing.
The fireball.
That was amazing.
It was something out of a Rambo movie. I swear. It was like big mushroom cloud.
Because I wasn't there when you did it. It was the fact that I was walking back into camp with firewood that I had collected.
Oh, you weren't there?
After it happened, and you all were running towards me and like, get away, and like grabbing me and hiding me behind somebody's car, just as that fireball went off.
Well, to my point, we couldn't drive yet, so that was Doug. What was his name?
Daryl Moyers.
Daryl Moyers. That was his name. That was his car, because Yeah, we had to get rides and stuff up there, and he said, I always hear about you guys doing this stuff. I want to go with you.
Just as the park ranger came by. That was the best part.
Yeah, we were hiding behind his car as he was trying to start it, and it wouldn't start. It was like, that part was like out of a movie. He got in and tried to turn the key, and the car's stalling.
And the comedy of errors of that happening, the park ranger coming by, and who was it got pissed off because the ball of fire singed their tent?
Yeah.
That was John's dad's tent, and it set his dad's tent on fire. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's. I mean,
we all laugh about it now because
And Mark was. I remember, of course, all of that, and I remember Mark was making sizzling.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Sizzling
no,
bacon.
but it sounds vaguely familiar. I remember running and the fireball. You toss it in, and we all split in different directions. Our reaction to the incendiary was.
It was Russ's can of Right Guard. It was a huge can of Right Guard, and I thought it was ridiculous.
Way too big.
So I asked whose it was. Russ said, "Oh, that's mine." I said, "Oh," and I chucked it in.
There was that half-second pause where we all took it in. And we're like, "Oh, that's an aerosol under pressure."
Yeah.
But yeah, camping's dumb.
Yeah, it is. It is, unless you do something extraneous to make it fun. Camping is just regular camping. I think that's why we never really did regular camping. We never did that, is because camping was simply going out, starting a campfire, and I guess singing songs or something, and fetching water from a well somewhere or something, and taking a dump in the woods in a ditch you dug about 30 feet from the camp. It seemed very unsanitary and just. Yeah.
Why go someplace where TV is
delicious?
It's just ridiculous.
I love, by the way, even to this day, walking around the lake over by Casca, and as filthy as that is, as dirty as that lake gets, and everything. And I'll tell Helena, when we were young lads, we used to go right in that water, nothing stopping. We just tripped right through that stuff. And she was like, "Well, did you have anything on? Any sort of protection?" No.
Any sort of protection, sort of body condom.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, shoot, I remember we went to that camp out in West Virginia, Camp Mountaineer.
Yeah.
And we were doing that kind of stuff, and Russell we were chest deep in this. It wasn't a lake, it was more swamp or whatever, you know what I mean? But we're out, and Russell, I don't know, he must have ingested some water. He was sick as a dog the next day. You know what I mean?
Russ was funny back then, too. He was real funny back then.
Yeah, not like now.
Yeah.
That's someone you could talk to about camping.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually loves camping, so.
Yeah, he still does.
Well, I think he loves hiking.
No, I think he loves
camping facilitates the hiking. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to hike far into the woods, and I got to sleep somewhere.
I think he lives hiking in some weird world where the two are kind of the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, he loves it. Got all the gear.
Well, I think there are people that camp that don't hike. You know what I'm saying? Like you pull it, you drive up to the campsite at Costco, and it's right there. You can park your car right there.
They're called homeless. They don't walk into the woods.
We're not talking about going to
I'm going to camp right here, just outside the grocery store.
Right outside Union Station.
Going to Yogi Bear land, campsite probably isn't really considered camping. That's more like going on a lodge vacation.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Russ still does that. I don't think anybody else I know still goes camping. I think
he's definitely the dumbest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the advent of the internet, there's no reason I can just, if I want to see something, I can just Google a picture of it and just
Google Maps,
that's
man.
cool. Yeah.
Let somebody else walk it with a camera.
If you use AI, you can just make it. You don't even need to look for a picture.
Right.
You can have it make it for you.
But that brings up another question. I've been watching this guy's channel on YouTube, Arvin Haddad, who goes around. He watches other walkthrough videos that people do of like mansions and houses and stuff like that. And he's a professional realtor of high-end mansions and such. And so he'll go through and say, this is what's wrong with this one and that kind of thing, critique it, And I like his videos. I like watching those. And it got me to think, because I saw one where they did a cave house, where they build a house in a cave somewhere. I think it was in Ohio or something. And that one was actually pretty cool, like $300,000 or something like that. But his videos had got me to thinking, and I was wondering this, if money was no object in buying and for the moment, let's say, and maintaining the house, how big a house would you go?
Not very.
I mean, depends. For how many people? I mean, it
for you right now.
No, just you.
However many people are in your house right now.
I'll give you an example. There was the cave house was like $300,000, right? And I thought it was very nice. But he's also done. I saw another one he did where he was looking at a dude who was touring a $1.2 billion estate somewhere in France or something. That was the prototype for Versailles and all of that, And so just anywhere in the gamut, if money were not an object in maintenance or in the house itself, how big would you actually go?
I would just get a little villa somewhere in Italy, and I'd be happy with that.
It would have to be. It would be. It would.
Italy is what he said.
Oh, Italy.
Yeah.
It would have to
be Italy.
Somewhere in the south.
You talking about like Lake Como or something, or are you talking about the coast or what?
Just any place where I could just get a little, because I don't need a big space. I bigger spaces make me anxious. So I'm happy with just a little space. So I just get a little villa somewhere, get a little yard, and I'm cool. I don't need a lot.
So square footage wise, what would you say?
I don't know. I have a hard time judging. A couple thousand square feet, I'm good.
Okay. So like 2,500 square feet, right around there.
Yeah.
Okay. So single family size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like how big is your house?
30 something.
35, 37.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's big-ish, right?
So something like that.
It's a little bit smaller than your place, but yeah, I think 2,500 would be perfect.
Okay. All right. Rich, you were getting ready to say.
No, I would say it would have to be small enough that I would like to have my own property, so at least an acre of land. As far as the house goes, it would have to be small enough that I wouldn't need any maids or cleaning. So, because I won't allow anyone into my house that I don't care who they are. So, it would probably be maybe 3,000 square feet would probably be the max.
Okay. All right, so about the same as Kelly then. So in that single family-ish.
Yeah, single family. I like single floor designs, but basements. So I'd want to have a single floor and a basement. But yeah, I don't need it to be multiple levels or stairs or anything like that.
Really? Okay, so like a ranch style single
ranch
level.
Style, yeah, flat, one level with a basement, full finished basement. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Mark?
Well, the house I have now is actually ranch style with a basement, right? And so we've got
there you go. You dream
3 bedrooms up here.
Just have
There
to
you
fill
go.
it
It's
out.
got a full basement and 2 bedrooms in the basement. So one of the things I like about it, it's not a big house. It's a 5-bedroom house without being a 5-bedroom house, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? It is, it's not the McMansion, right? It's but there's 2 bedrooms down in the basement and there's 3 up here, and full basement, and like the size of this house I like. It's got a 2-car garage which is full of our junk and I can hardly use it. I would want a little bit more space. Mostly because I think I would love like a workshop or something like that.
That's what I was wondering.
That is not
like that.
like I would love someplace that had like you see one of those big barns in the back or whatever that is, climate controlled, or you can put just putter and do all the hobby stuff you want to do, whether that's woodworking or filmmaking stuff or just whatever. So if money was no object, I don't need anything more than the size of the house I'm in right now. But yeah, I would love it if there was like a big barn workshop type thing adjacent, and then I think I'd be happy, and then maybe a helipad to land the helicopter if money is no object.
Now, I would have said, what was his?
So you guys know I got severe thunderstorms over my house right now, so if I blink out, it's because...
Okay, so you're setting the groundwork for you needing to move into Mark's house. That's smart.
Mark, I think, has severe thunderstorms around his house as well, so... that weather.
I just noticed that the label on my camera says KMAN, and then in parentheses says you, as if I didn't know what the KMAN was and couldn't recognize myself.
Yeah, right. Who?
Who is this stranger?
Yeah, mine says Mark in parentheses.
If you're designing software for this kind of venue, yeah, I could see that. I could see that happening.
Yeah, you never know what kind of idiot you're going to have on these things.
If you have the ability, take a look at the Yankee Candle founder's house. It's in Massachusetts.
I think I've seen this before. Yeah, I've seen this one before.
$23 million home. 60
Yes.
acres.
Yeah. Just scroll through some of the pictures so you can see what
Wow.
Okay. It's got a water park, an arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got to have cleaning staff. That's a no-go for me.
He does, yes. I mean, well, he's dead, but, he was...
Well, I mean, but this home...
So he doesn't care anymore, he's just going to let it go?
Right, yeah.
There's no way that he utilized this home. Like, he utilized all of it. It's impossible.
Well, he was dying, and what he wanted, from what I understand, one of the people who lives up that way said he was dying, and he wanted to, before he left, he wanted to use some of his money to just build his dream house. And
that's fine. Yeah.
That is a great room.
Give me a second. Let me turn my light on.
The indoor tennis court's pretty amazing.
You can yell all you want. I can't hear you.
Indoor tennis court with a bar.
There we go.
So, yeah, he's got an indoor tennis court.
I still have to fix the lighting in here, but yeah.
He's got an indoor tennis court with a bar.
Yeah, but the thing that when I saw... This was one of the ones I saw on that Arvin Haddad guy's channel, right? And he was going through this. And so much of the house is set up, like, incorrectly for if you're going to be, selling the house at some point and all of this, right? But, like he said, the beauty of it is this was the guy's dream home. He didn't care about, resale or any of that.
Right.
Yeah. The indoor water park is pretty amazing.
That cellar looks like an amazing place to play D&D.
Doesn't it? And see, that's the thing. So when I'm talking about a house, I wonder where I would stop. It's not because of the value of all the stuff or anything like that, but I think to myself, if I had something that there was no upper limit that way, as we were talking about, no cost for maintenance or any of that, what would I want there? And I saw that indoor water park, and I was like, wow. Actually, if I saw pictures of that, and I hadn't thought about it before, but yeah, let's throw one of those up.
I'm just too pragmatic, man. I
Right.
wouldn't want anything that I wouldn't use. I mean,
Yeah.
You wouldn't go down there and take a ride on the slide. Come on.
no.
Right. Yeah. No, I definitely would not build this gym, but the
No.
rest of it, hell yeah.
The gym, yeah, the hamburger bar, you're all for. But
Like
Look at that
the kitchen,
arcade, man.
like the kitchen had like 6 islands in it
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something, and all these different
mean,
setups and
I come from
I
a big
don't
family.
criticize the guy for building his dream home and he has enough money to do whatever he wants. It's just I would not do that. That
Yeah,
wouldn't.
you know you're rich when you
wouldn't appeal to
collect
me.
cars.
No. You're missing my point. It's not would you do what he did. What I'm saying is that when you're talking about the size of the house you would have and all of that, I wanted to make sure I gave you, the parameters.
Oh,
if
I
you
see
will,
what you're
that-
saying. Okay, you wanted to give me a baseline. I got you.
Right. Because I think most people wouldn't think of this stuff. I think actually most people would think more moderately, right?
Yeah.
But if it were no object, what would you
know-
have there? How big would the place? Would you have a shooting range? Would you have?
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
but
Yeah. If we're thinking outside the box, I would totally love to have, the game room, the indoor water park, a gun range. There was a bowling alley in there. Like,
Would you do a bowling
okay.
alley?
I wouldn't mind a bowling
I-
alley.
I wouldn't
but
with
no,
my lower
I wouldn't
back,
be like,
no.
I don't bowl enough that I would be like, yeah, I need a bowling alley. Like there was this. Who was it? One of the famous dudes in Hollywood, who was like the
Spielberg.
producer of 90210.
Neeson.
Like they had this like ridiculous house. Spelling, I think it is.
Aaron Spelling.
Yeah, Aaron Spelling. Like, I remember his wife, they were interviewing her when she was going to sell the house or whatever, and they had a bowling alley, and they were like, he likes to go bowling, but he can't go out bowling because people are always, like, approaching him and trying to pitch him,
He's too
scripts and
famous.
stuff, and so him having one at the house was like, he can now go bowling without having to go in public to go bowling, and I was like, that makes a certain amount of sense.
And that's fine if that's a hobby that he likes to do. Like, if
Right.
that makes sense. Like, I would, have an excellent gaming area and an excellent painting area, and I don't know if I'd have an indoor shooting range just because of all the issues with ventilating it, but an outdoor shooting range for sure on the property. Yeah.
See, I think I'd do an indoor one.
I do both. It gets cold.
Yeah,
Especially shooting.
I
Yeah,
would
so
just
a
want a
place-
room where I can put a piano. I just need a big grand piano, and I need a room that can accommodate that.
That's it.
Great
You wouldn't
room.
do any of the other stuff.
Hmm?
You wouldn't do any of the other stuff, a big kitchen or anything like that.
No.
You wouldn't have like
No.
a special game room or.
I tell you what I want. I would want a ridiculously oversized walk-in closet. I am tired of making my stuff fit in a closet. Like I gotta like.
Your shoes
Oh,
alone.
so big.
I want a massive walk-in closet. Like if I'm throwing caution to the wind and I'm gonna design the dream,
I mean-
I'm like I want a walk-in closet as big as the
One
master
pair of
bedroom
pants
I'm in
takes
now.
up half a wall. I mean,
That's really
So
funny.
huge.
Yes, I'm that fat. Come on, Rich. You're gonna have to do a little better than that.
You're the guy that didn't want the gym.
Right, that was a little self-deprecating humor, which was well received. I thought.
I don't know. Your reaction was pretty funny. I enjoyed that. If you can provoke that sort of thing out of him
I
Rich,
know.
consistently, I'm all right with
Yeah.
that. But yeah,
Now, I'm offended by the lowbrow nature of it. I'm
Oh.
laying out my
You're-
dream that I want a large walk-in closet to
Yeah.
hold all of my stuff. And he's like, one pair of pants is going to take up the whole closet because I'm fat.
how big a
Like,
how
come
big
on,
a
man.
closet
You could
would
do better
you?
than that.
How big a closet would you want?
Well, like, I think I was scrolling through this. Like,
2 pairs of pants.
I don't know. Big. You know what I'm saying? Like, right now, my closet is long and thin. It's a
Right.
walk-in.
Right.
But, like,
You want the one that's slightly curved to the left, or
yeah, well, like... like
Little swoop on
your
the end.
walk-in closet is pretty big, right?
yeah.
If we get a ridiculous one, twice the size of that, 3 times the
Okay.
size of that,
Okay.
where
I
I mean,
think-
if you're going all out, put the washer and dryer in there.
I was
You don't
just
have to take
wondering
that up
because
and
I
down the
had
stairs.
seen-
Why stop at one closet? You just have a closet for each type of clothing. A shirt
Yeah.
closet, pants closet.
Now you're
shoe
just
closet.
being dumb.
Now
I don't
let
want to have
me-
to walk from one
Why?
closet to the other.
The guy has a water park in his house.
Let me ask you. Why would you stop at the size of the house that you've now mentioned?
Oh, because again, larger spaces make me anxious, so I just need a smaller space. If I feel like I can control and operate and kind of to Rich's point, like if I'm not going to use it, I don't want it. And so there's that idea of a small space I know I'm going to use.
Oh, here's a room I didn't
You
know
don't
I
think
had.
you don't think
I got
you'd
lost
use
in my own house.
you don't think you'd use a multi-island kitchen or the water park thing or any of that? You don't think you'd use
I
it?
think you'll use whatever space you find yourself in.
Yeah.
Like if we lived in New York in one of these postage stamp apartments, you're going to use every square inch of that, and you're like, this is fine. And if you're living in the Midwest in a big old farm ranch, you're going to use all of that. It's not about that, but at some point, you reach here's what I need, and then here's what I want to show off to the neighbors.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think a lot of them who do the mega mansion houses and that sort of thing, I think a lot of them do that stuff for the optics. And I don't.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I don't think, and again, I'm not an expert, but from what this dude was talking about, a lot of people don't use most of their houses. They'll use a couple of rooms or something like that because they build these houses that are massive for, optics reasons, and most of the rooms don't have a purpose and don't have a flow and, that kind of thing.
You're talking about people, though, that want other people to be, they're celebrity, right? So they want other people to be in their business, whereas I don't want anyone knowing anything about anything I have unless I know them.
Well, no. One of the big things they do is privacy.
100%.
One of the big things they do is privacy, but bringing someone to it is where you have that, what they call the wow factor and all of that, where they use it to show off to those they want to show off to. But
I get that, but I get that, but I live alone. And like it's like I don't know. There's nobody comes over. Even like people I know, I don't even let them in. Like it's really rare for that to happen.
Stay out.
The idea of like you want to get together, we're going to get together someplace other than my place, right?
But you do that. You do that because you're not. If we were in the same geographic area, right? You would have people over. You would have people over more often.
No, we would get together at the AMC theater or something.
Mark's going to show up. Rich is going to be there because his house has been blown down by the storm.
That's right.
There's going to be.
I've been trying to get him out of my basement.
Hey, I'm not. And on that point,
out of your closet, it's so huge.
See, on that point, I'm actually not kidding because one of the biggest blessings of the house I have. And I'm not saying it's massive or anything, but one of the biggest blessings I've had with this house is that when I've needed to house people who have, for whatever reason, they're visiting or they've had something happen in life or whatever it is, I've been able to do that no problem. Hey man, can I need plates, can I do that? And I've been able to do that for them.
Yeah, no, well, 100%, I agree with that. That's fine, and I totally get that. But for me, there's this, and it happened maybe about 15 years ago. I went through this phase where I just got a big old dumpster and it was like purged my life. I was just like, all this stuff's got to go. And so there's this, now I'm in this mindset of if I have a large space, there's the idea that I'm going to have to acquire things to fill that space. And that also stresses me out. So if I have a small space, I'm only going to get what fits in that space. And then I'm just there. And that's the thing. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
It is because if you've ever seen, they have one fork, one plate, one knife, one spoon. Like, I actually
had that debate with myself the other night. I was like, do I really need 4 plates? I should just buy one.
What if someone comes over?
You don't have people over.
What if the 3 of us come over?
Then I would tell you all to bring plates and forks and knives with you.
Or you could buy paper ones. I mean,
bring cutlery and toilet paper if you're coming over.
You just buy disposable stuff. I mean,
well, I think that's actually probably one of the reasons anyway that most of the time when we got together out here, we would get together at my house.
Yeah.
For that fact, but I do think I honestly do think it can be useful to have a bit more room than you think you need, just for the unforeseen circumstances.
No, that's a fair argument. That's a fair argument.
That's fine. But if you have that kind of unlimited budget, you could pay for someone to live in a hotel room. I mean, or you could get them a extended stay.
Hotels are expensive.
Yeah, hotel no, because hotels are filthy, man. Hotels are they're
And besides, you put somebody up in a hotel, and before you know it, they've gotten into the bar, and then
Mini
you've got
bar,
like
the
extra
$18
charges.
Snickers, and
Yeah, and they ordered some shit on pay per
and you
view
gotta
that you
put
don't need.
you're there for a few months, and you gotta. How many times you gonna put the do not disturb up there because you don't want people coming in and messing with your stuff, or
Dude,
like
I don't-
you just
I
don't
don't-
like people.
I don't
Hey,
disagree with you, Sean. I mean, I think you can have a guest space, so you could put someone up. I mean, that doesn't. I don't disagree with having that, but the 50-room mansion. I mean,
Well, no, most of them are actually about. See, this is the irony. This is the irony of it. And Kelly, go ahead, do your thing, and then I'll dive into
no,
mine.
you talked about the do not disturb, and I was going to tell you the story of when I was in Brazil, and I
you
was
were
in Sao
disturbed.
Paulo. I was in Sao Paulo, and I put the do not disturb on my door all the time when I'm in a hotel. But while I'm in Sao Paulo, they said, Kelly, we need you to go up to Fortaleza, which is in the north of Brazil. And rather than check out of the hotel and get a hotel up in Fortaleza, I just kept the booking at the one that I was at in Sao Paulo, put the do not disturb on the door, went to Fortaleza for 3 days, then came back, and everything was still there in my hotel room, undisturbed. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. Highly recommend.
yeah, and but see, you can't count on that. After a few days, they're going to keep knocking. Are you sure you don't? Or they have a letter you got to sign, or whatever their deal is wherever you are. I like the flexibility of having the larger space that way.
Mm.
But to the point I was making before, this is the ironic part, is that most of the mansions that I've seen, apparently they only have usually like maybe 5 bedrooms, and for some 5 bedrooms and maybe 16 bathrooms, or that kind of thing, because there's always a massive amount of washrooms, which is fine. I get it. If you're doing balls or receptions or whatever, you need a lot of places to piss. But most of the house, it seems to be just repetitions of other parts of the house, just for the purpose of the guy will say, they just had too much floor space, they didn't know what to do with this, so they just threw another living room in there. This room has no purpose, they need to have some purpose for this, otherwise no one's going to go there. You got like two spaces in this mega mansion, 50 million, $100 million place, where people are actually going to congregate, and the rest is for show. And I think that's where it kind of bothers me. I mean, it's not something I'd say let's pass a law or something like that. I'm just talking about as a cultural, societal thing, that the mega rich, mega wealthy having all of this stuff seems so much more for show rather than actually having a purpose. Lenny Kravitz's house, however, as an example of the opposite, is beautifully curated. Every room has a purpose, and he's decorated all of it himself. He's apparently very good at that sort of thing, and each of them has a flow and a reason, and all of that. So it's not this humongous mansion or anything like that. It's a mansion, but everything has a reason, has a purpose, and it's done very well. So many others that I've seen are just, well, we got to figure out what to do with this, that kind of thing. And so I was wondering, with you guys, how much would you want? How much would you use?
Not a lot.
So
Not a lot, man.
Mark, you got to admit, man, staying over here, how cool would it be if we had an actual water park? You could wake up and just walk right over there. You could take a water slide from the living room into the water park area. And
that sounds pretty cool.
Doesn't it?
Right? And then you go underneath where there's like a little tunnel under the water that comes up into the secret, room that could lead you to some other cool place in the house. Everybody wants, nobody really does it, but everybody wants like secret passages in their house.
Yeah.
So like if we're just going to do like ridiculous stuff, we're going to put secret passages in the house.
See, I would love stuff like that. As a matter of fact, combine the water park and the shooting range.
Mm-hmm. The Navy SEALs coming up out of the water. Bop, 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 bop.
You could play pirate and have a couple of battles in there, you know. But there are actually a few things that I wouldn't do a tennis court, wouldn't do that, wouldn't do, you know, the
How
golf.
about pickleball? You do any of that kind of thing?
Oh, good Lord,
No.
no. What's wrong with you?
No, not that. Most of the stuff for the outside stuff, I really wouldn't do. I would leave most of, like, if it'd have to be, I guess, out in the woods or something somewhere. So I'd leave all of that stuff alone, because you just go out and go for walks or whatever you want to do that way. But most of the stuff I would have would be indoors, you know, just things like that. But I wouldn't have multi-sitting rooms and, you know, all of that kind of crap. I wouldn't have that. Each of mine would be, probably to most people, ridiculous. Because of that, you know, I love the water park idea, the range, you know, the kitchen stuff and all of that.
A theater room seems like a good idea. I'd do one of those.
You know, I wonder how many of those are used now.
Right, yeah. Like, I feel like that used to be a thing, but now all the TVs are so good.
Yeah.
And sound systems are very reasonable. Yeah, I don't know, but, you know.
And apparently most people don't do gyms right. And that makes sense. The better gyms are set up so you have a nice view and, you know, all of that, access to the outside, so you don't feel closed in like a prison where you have to do a workout, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people apparently do that kind of thing. So yeah, I was just wondering how big it would be. If where would you put it though? Kelly was talking about Italy, right? South Italy.
Yeah.
Sicily, so you could run your empire.
No, right around Toronto or something like that. You know, because I've been there. I know
in Canada.
No, not Toronto.
So I guess that begs the question: like, are we, you know, filthy rich, retired, no longer have to work or anything, or?
Yeah. I mean, taking away all those concerns is what I mean, just so that your dream, whatever it happens to be.
Gotcha. I think I'd go Vegas.
Really?
Vegas, really?
Yeah, I don't want to live in California, but it's close enough to where my daughter is that it's a quick little jaunt down there. And then my brother lives in Indiana, but nobody wants to go visit Indiana. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, he lives in Indiana, and nobody wants to go. But if you live in Vegas, everybody wants to come visit.
I don't know.
Plus, I've done the East Coast thing forever. You know what I mean? So.
See, I like the West Coast a lot. I like the San Francisco area and all of that. But you have both the, again, the issues with our hobbies that we like. Excuse me.
Right. I want to stay in America.
And the fact that I don't want it to either burn down or get hit with a mudslide or fall into the ocean from an earthquake or any of that. And there's just a lot of that stuff going on out there.
Nevada for you then.
Yeah, well, I don't like Nevada though either because it's too dry, and I like being near a beach. I do like that. I don't know where I would put it.
Yeah, but see, that's the trade-off though, because I mean, in California, you've got the issues you have, right? Just being in California, or in the Pacific Northwest, you got the idea that you can go out to a beach, but you're going to freeze to death if you ever touch that water. So I mean, you know, there's that issue. But if you would get to a beach where you can do something, then you've got the issue of like you're in the Gulf, and so then you've got, you know, hurricane risks. But you all got that on the East Coast as is right now.
But in Vegas, you've got, obviously you're going to have a pool if you've got a house in Vegas. Like, why wouldn't you have a pool?
Not really. You're one of the poor people. That's like a dealer.
Well, I'm going to have a pool because I'm in my super rich house in Vegas.
You're going to have a pool with no water.
There's going to be...
There's no water in Vegas.
Right. It's a 45-minute flight to L.A., right? So if you want to go to the beach, you can get in your car and drive for a few hours like we have to do now where we're at. We're like driving to the beach from here is over an hour.
It only takes an hour and a half. Well, for you, a little longer. But
yeah, a little longer.
Although, if you're in Italy... You've got the Mediterranean. You're right there. You know, that's
what I'm saying is pools are easily available, and I'd rather be at a pool than the beach. But if I want to go to the beach, it's a 45-minute flight, or it's not that long of a drive, and I can be in Southern California beaches.
Although for the idea that there's an unlimited amount of money for the house, and the fact that I'm going to live small, that leaves me money that if I'm in Italy, I can park a Ferrari next to my tiny house and be totally happy.
Uh-huh.
Ferrari.
and drive that to the beach with your umbrella sticking out the back, right?
Now, I will say, on the car front, my tastes have changed so much now. They really have. I like the Bugatti, although I fear for its future because it's been sold to a fund equity group or whatever.
Private equity.
Yeah, so I'm sure it's all going to be SUV.
I drive by a Bugatti dealer every day. Every day I see them.
You live in France, or?
No, there's a Bugatti dealer in the area, and I drive by it all the time.
Do they call them dealerships?
A Bugatti dealer?
Yeah.
That can't be. Mm-hmm. That can't. You mean they have some Bugattis there?
Hold on.
No, I drive by the same one, I think.
Because they only make like 30 of each.
Nope.
That's got to be like an exotic car, hypercar.
Well, I don't know if that's the only car they sell. I think is that the one that sells Ferraris also?
There's a Ferrari dealer, there's a Lamborghini dealer, there's a Bugatti dealer. Hold on. Hold on.
All right, so while he's looking that up, Bugatti, what else you got, Sean?
But Bugatti is at least the Chiron. That's the one I like.
Yeah.
I really like that.
That car's amazing.
Or going way the other direction to an old time Duesenberg. that dude, look up Duesenbergs and see how they look. Tell me you wouldn't want to drive one of those.
Nobody knows how to spell that.
That's where the saying "it's a doozy" comes from.
Did you ever see, Sean? Did you ever see the Top Gear episode where Jeremy and Richard are supposed to go on the perfect road trip?
I'm sorry. No, I was wrong. It's a Bentley dealer. Sorry about that.
Oh, Bentley.
I give you credit, Rich. I give you a lot of credit for that.
No, this looks like a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen car.
That's what does, doesn't it?
Looks like.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. And
no, what they need to do is basically take one of these and make it a modern electric car.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
They would sell a bazillion of those things.
Yeah, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? A little bit of a modern take on it, but still keep the same overall appearance.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video where this company, I don't know, I think it might be in England or something like that, where they're developing this, because the electric cars have like the skateboard, all the heavy batteries are on the bottom, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're developing like this chassis for an electric platform, but then you can take these classic 4x4s or these classic like Land Rover, what's the other one? Land Cruiser, Range Rover, whatever. These older classic ones, and literally pull the body off and put it onto a modern electric, chassis and things like that. So I was like, I could totally see, and whether it's Tesla or somebody else who kind of systematizes this skateboard thing, and now you could be creative with these amazing bodies without having to build the whole car, where it's like this bespoke supercar they make 20 of that, you're just buying that for a flex because 90% of the time it's going to be in the shop. You're paying $60,000 for an oil change or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Now, I do see your point, Sean, since the low price on the Bugatti is $2.5 million, but the low price on the Bentley is $245,000. So I see your.
What a bargain!
And see, for $245,000, I can get a Ferrari and be completely happy. Which is better than a Bentley.
I don't like the Ferrari anymore. That's the thing.
Shut up and just log off.
I actually saw one pull out of a Wawa the other day.
See, for me, I love the functionality mixed with the actual styling of that Bugatti. And I love the same thing in that old Duesenberg.
Yeah.
That Duesenberg has a look to it. Like, what it reminds me of? It makes me think of the old Tex Avery cartoons where you got the wolf showing up at the nightclub and he's...
Yes. Dressed like a gangster from the 20s.
Yeah. It's got that whole vibe to it, and I really dig that. And apparently, because I watched Jay Leno's Garage, he has a couple Duesenbergs. It's the only one he said that he has that you could drive even now, because he does, even now, and it'll keep up with and perform just as well as modern day cars. It's got so much power and so much responsiveness that he actually can drive that on the roads now, and you wouldn't even feel like you're driving a, what is it, 150-year-old car or whatever it is. And I love that functionality. It used to be, as a matter of fact, from what he was saying, it was a higher end car than the Rolls Royce and the Bentley and all of that. It was, Duesenberg was like top of the list.
Yeah.
And then then I guess they went out of business or whatever later on, and that's when the others took over. But that used to be the bomb. That was it. That's where It's a Doozy came from.
There he is. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not finding it here on the web, but I saw this, like, YouTube short where this guy was like, listen, Ford, you got to do this. And it was clearly some AI render or whatever of a Model T, but they made it today, and it was like a modern electric vehicle, or it might have been, it didn't say it was electric, but it kind of looked like it. But it was a modernized version of the Model T. He's like, you guys would sell a bazillion of these things. And I admit that picture looked amazing. Yeah. And so just looking at the Duesenberg, I love my Tesla, but it looks like a Tesla.
Right, yeah.
Right? There's nothing necessarily special about the looks of that car. They look fine. They look like car. you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what they're going for, right?
Do you remember Don? Do you remember Don, from NRA? Do you remember Don?
Yeah.
Don had a saying, because he's an older guy, and he loved his 1911s, right?
Yeah.
And we would argue sometimes about different guns. Not he and I, but just up at the office. We'd argue about different guns and stuff at certain times. And he had a saying about like a Glock. And the Tesla reminds me kind of a Glock. He said, with Glocks, he said, it's kind of like sleeping with a hooker. He said, yeah, you had sex, but who you going to brag to about it, And that's kind of what the Glock was. It's a gun, sure, but it doesn't have that panache to it.
Right.
It's
There's
just
no
like
sex appeal to it. It's
right.
a tool.
It's a block.
Right. It's not art.
Right.
It's function.
That's it. Right.
Agreed. Yeah.
And the Tesla kind of comes across like that. They'll paint it up nice and stuff, but you're right. It doesn't have that styling that I'll use your example, Kelly, the Ferrari. It doesn't look like a Ferrari Luce.
Right. Now they are gearing up for the new Tesla Roadster.
If you know the Luce,
that one they might put
joke.
some panache into that. So we'll see what that looks like when it comes out.
What'd you say?
I said they're working on the new version of the Tesla Roadster is going to come out soonish. I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year.
Do you think they're going to stay in the business of cars, or do you think they're going to move fully over to robotics? I know they closed down the S and the X?
The S and the X. No, because I think they're going to stay in the car business. I think they're going to own the car business. Like, the self-driving stuff is amazing. I've got a free trial of it right now, and it's almost as good a driver as I am. Not
Would
quite.
You say
it does
it's
dumb
a
things.
doozy?
It is a doozy. Yes, I think they're going to stay in the car business, but they're already in more than the car business, right? Because with the self-driving and the AI chips and the robots, and they got a lot going on, but I don't see them getting out of the car. But they're the only electric car company that's actually making a profit right now.
See, I don't know how much he actually loves the car business, to be honest. I think that's not his itch. I think his itch is a bunch of...
Right, but I don't think it needs him anymore. Right, there's plenty of people at Tesla making cars and doing interesting stuff that if he walked in front of a bus or decided I'm going to go live on Mars, Tesla doesn't dry up and go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't know if he'd want to give it up. I think he wants to turn it into a robots company, So
yeah, I 100% believe they're doing that, but I don't think it's a one or the other. It's we're going to do this over here also. And he's been very transparent. They started with these super high-end Roadster, which was built on a Lotus chassis that only rich people could afford. That was your proof of concept. Get some rich people in there to pay for the R&D. Now we're going to make cheap cars that everybody can afford that compete with, Toyota and Honda and whoever it is. Like, we're now at that stage where Teslas are affordable for anybody that wants a car. You know what I mean?
Provided he can keep up with BYDD, I don't know. We'll see.
Right, and don't get me wrong, I love Rivian and some of the other electric cars. They're not profitable yet, is my current understanding of it. And I want, but again, most of these cars, they start out losing money, and then they reach that market share where now they're making money, right? And Tesla was the first, and they've been doing it the longest, so that's where they are now.
See,
but I love the way the Rivians look.
See, I think your idea is the way to go, to be honest.
Build those base chassis and let the bespoke small car companies go like, we're going to put this on.
Yeah, because most people, I'll be honest, most people really, the most important thing is liking how it looks. Most people aren't going to go to the racetrack. Most people aren't, doing any of that high performance stuff. They just want something that looks kind of cool that they can drive to and from work. And you don't have to spend $1 bazillion on it, trying to keep it going and all of that. And I think having something like that where you just get the chassis and then you decide, okay, I'd like to have this, packaging for it. I think that would be an amazing way to go with that.
Yeah, make this kind of modular car. Yeah. It's like, here's the engine and the batteries is the base point, and different wheelbase sizes or whatever, and now you've got these craft body makers who were like, we're going to put this on it, and you're off to the races.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing if you had a modular, or whatever you would call it.
Right, but then you have the modern convenience of, it's an electric chassis. You got all the, the airbags and the safety and the entertainment stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like the old Beetles, the VW Bugs, the old ones. I don't want to drive one, though. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but if you had the option of having an electric version that just, you put that would be actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea. I like that a lot. Get on that. All right.
Okay, let me get right on that. I'll give Elon a call as soon as we get off. I'll be like, hey, man, I need to order some of these chassis from you.
They had some kit cars like that in the old day, remember?
Yeah.
The Pantera, and then
they used to put them all on like the Pontiac Fiero was what they would use.
Right. Yeah.
For all of the mid-engine, kit cars.
Yeah. So it looked real cool, but it wouldn't go on any faster than like 50 miles an hour or whatever. But yeah, I remember that. They had that, and they had the old-timey looking one that was, a smaller version, but not quite. Neither of them ever really scratch that itch that I would have had for a car. Not that I have a big one, but it never would have. But I always kind of like the idea of that. So yeah, that appeals to me. I like that, Mark. So, all right, all right. Well, gentlemen, thank you very much. I enjoyed this. Actually, I enjoyed this one very much. I liked the meandering, just conversational way that went. And now I feel like I know you each just that little bit better. And considering that I've known you boys for so long, that really says something. Now I know where and how you would want to live, and that gives me a certain amount of power. And and I like that.
All right. All right.
Oh, I didn't. By the way, Kelly, you said Italy, right?
Yeah.
And Mark, you said Nevada. Rich, where would you go?
I wouldn't leave the United States. It would have to be a place that is not near the ocean and not near a fault line. So
Iowa.
Probably somewhere east of the Mississippi.
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
I'd consider Kentucky. Yeah.
Someplace. Kentucky. Yes, Kentucky. Kentucky, West Virginia.
Put Nashville on the list. We love West Virginia. That's where
Kentucky,
I'm at now.
Like, West Virginia, Tennessee, all those places have a stable non-fault line. If the whatchamacallit, if the geyser goes up, it probably won't destroy that place. It's far enough away from
Yellowstone when that goes up. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, from the caldera. The most. It's stable mountainous land, so it's probably not going to shift, or you won't get very many earthquakes, and you won't be hopefully near any real military targets. So, yeah.
A military target? Then name the system. See,
someplace like that.
For me, it would be either Naboo or Mustafar on the lava falls. One of those two. I think that would be amazing.
Nope, I'm moving to Alderaan. I love the temperate weather.
You can have as big a parcel as you can find of Alderaan.
All
Can you believe how cheap this was?
Matter of fact,
I've
if we
got
wait
so much
long enough,
acreage.
we may actually be hit by a piece of Alderaan.
I've got so much acreage. I've got over a parsec.
In a bag. Here's my Alderaan.
Shake it out.
Like buying a piece of land in Scotland so that you can be a lawyer.
Yeah. I got this bag. I can take Alderaan with me anywhere I go.
All right, boys. Well, thank you very much. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.
Bye.
This concludes our Speak Nerd and Enter broadcast.